Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report, the last NXT Ring Report of 2025. So let's go and get to it and what's the match is going to be. Coming up, we'll talk about this. Ethan Page, the North American champion, defends his title against TNA's Moose. The Moose do like the rest of the win some gold away from TNA to NXT. Well, I mean NXT to TNA. We'll see and Moose get the job done. We'll talk about that. Well, as the NXT Women's Champion, Jacy Jayne's in action when she takes on Ren Sinclair 1-on-1. Ren Sinclair's friend Kendall Gray will be in that huge championship match next week, so we'll see about that. Speaking of that, NXT Awards, you see right here takes place. You see who won their NXT Awards. We'll tell you about it coming up, as well as Joe Henry holds a New Year's Eve concert. Joe Henry getting himself ready as well. And the main event, Javon Evans, who's recently a free agent, will take on Ricky Saint in the heated rivalry in the ring. We'll see these two go at it coming up. As I've been your Kendrick Dix as we get the NXT Ring Report started right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the NXT Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Welcome in, everyone. Come on in. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is 10. Call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. Let's not waste no time right here, right now on the NXT Ring Report. Let's get to it right here, right now. Let's talk about some of the matches that went down. As you see right here, this was a shocker right here. Tavion Heights means business, and he means business all right. He defeated Lexis King in under nearly 10 seconds. Tavion Heights used that belly-to-belly suplex to get the win over Tavion Heights. Now Tavion over Lexis King. Lexis King now didn't know he wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared. And Lexis King should have been more focused rather than trying to come out there in the ring. And Lexis King got what he had coming to him. Lexis King lost to Tavion. Tavion Heights now the new number one contender for the Speed title. So Tavion Heights will be going for the Speed Championship next week. And can Tavion Heights do it? We'll see. But Tavion's been on a roll of lately, and I was kind of impressed. He belly suplexed him so quick that Lexis King didn't know what had happened. So that was a good moment right there. They used their time to do what they need to do. Speaking of that, Ethan Page retained his North American Championship from a fellow alum in TNA, Moose. Ethan Page still the North American champion, and what Ethan Page did. Well, speaking of that, we see Izzy Dame talked about she's going to have a match against Tatum Paxley next week. These two were the best of friends. Now they're enemies now. And looks like that Tatum Paxley did not forget about what had happened. Tatum Paxley is going to rule the day. Izzy Dame's going to rule the day that she ever messed with Tatum Paxley. These two women were the best of friends. Now next week, they go at each other next week. Tatum Paxley versus Izzy Dame. We'll see who's going to get the upper hand on that. It's not going to be looking the good, looking the same. So we'll see how that's going to play out as well. Well, as this right here, Ren Sinclair saw her friend Kendall Dame, the Evolve Women's Champion, being put down by you know who, Toxic Fatal Attraction, Jacy Jayne and her group doing that to the Fatal Girls and trying to spearhead what went down and did so as well. So we see that they're trying to play the numbers game and did so until Kendall Gray came out there and used that tap out and did what they did. And, got sent a message to you know who, to Jacy Jayne. Kendall Gray will challenge Jacy Jayne for the NXT Women's Championship. Can Kendall Gray be a double champion, being the Evolve Women's Champion, and now the NXT Women's Champion. I think Kendall Gray is going to have a big, bright future on the head of her. What she did right here. Look at her tap out. Now, this is some vibes right here I'm getting. Tia Hill just recently won the North American Championship, but why is Jordan Grace trying to give Kendall Gray advice on what's going down and stuff? And I think, to me, that's going to be a big turn. Tia Hill's going to let her guard down, and Jordan Grace is going to act like she cares, but she really don't care. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that. I'm assuming something's going to go down that next week. We know that Tia Hill was a lucky champion and defended and won the championship from Blake Monroe. But we know Blake Monroe and Jordan Grace ain't got a long history together. So I'm assuming that Blake Monroe's going to win back her North American title, but there's going to be a new feud going on, rivalry between Jordan Grace and Tia Hill. Look, I'm just telling Tia Hill, just watch your back when it comes to that. I'm telling you. Well, speaking of that, Joe Henry held his New Year's Eve concert. Joe Henry was singing. He had reminiscences of The Rock. Joe Henry was singing until Dark State came out there and attacked Joe Henry from behind and left Joe Henry laying. Dark State sending a message to you, Joe Henry, what Joe Henry did. So Joe Henry really got what went down. So hopefully we know that Deion Lennox when he gets rep payback, his clapback from Joe Henry. So we'll have to see about that. Well, as Over the Mill was in action, they went against them Evolved Pretty Boys and took them down and left them out laying out the wayside as they did. So we see the Over the Mill winning their match tonight. Well, before we get to the main event, the NXT Awards were coming up, and hey, we'll talk about that on Wrestling Hot Topics. But the action was so fierce. We want to talk about this. This was the main event. Javon Evans taking on Ricky Saints. These two men do not like each other. Ricky Saints blames Javon Evans for the fans not caring about him and saying that they like Javon better than him. He don't get it. He don't understand it. And, you saw how that was going to be coming up as well. Well, we know how that's going to go. Ricky Saints and Javon Evans really beat the whole of the crap out of each other. But at the end, it was none other than Ricky Saints defeating Javon Evans. Ricky Saints getting the win over Javon, putting Javon out by cheating. And Ricky Saints trying to make sure that he's the one that's been talked about, not nobody else. So Ricky Saints trying to get more attention for himself, as always. All right, that's going to end the NXT Ring Report for 2025. Let's get to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, we'll talk about this right here. The Year-End Awards, as Javon Evans was named the Male Superstar of the Year. He didn't win the match, but he was named Male Superstar of the Year. Javon Evans really putting in the work and putting in the hard work as well. Speaking of Javon won another one. Match of the year when it was Obafemi, Javon, and Trick Williams at Stand and Deliver. Who was going to get that shot? 3 African-American men making NXT proud. And kudos to Shawn Michaels for, putting that out there. Them probably 3 future WrestleMania main eventers down the road. They asked me. Speaking of that, Solo Roca and Zarya won for Tag Team of the Year. Solo Roca winning more gold, more scraps. It's right here. She was one Female Superstar of the Year. Solo Roca has really been putting in the work for Solo Roca from the Year-End Awards. But speaking on that, on the other end of town right here, we know that Usos won the Tag Team Championship. Jay started the year off winning the Royal Rumble in February and ended in December as a Tag Team Champion. And he, in the middle in between, he was the World Champion. So Jay Uso had a big 2025 year. 2025 has been good to Jay. Jay has been good to 2025. Speaking of Jay, Jay alone, his brother, took a pose with Bailey. Bailey, I guess all from San Francisco during their poses and stuff, as well as Jay Uso said, I know y'all mad. There you go, Jay. There you go, Jay. There you go, Jay. Well, we see Jay Uso and Jimmy. They are the ones, and they won back the World Tag Team titles. And they are the official 9-time World Tag Team Champions. Congratulations to the Usos in 2025 as Tag Team Champions. But speaking of that, Liv Morgan being seductive, trying to send a message to Dominic Mysterio. Liv Morgan getting herself together. Liv Morgan doing his thing. Liv Morgan doing her thing as well. So we see how Liv Morgan does. Well, we know next week will be New Year's Evil. We know that the NXT title will be, the NXT championship will be on the line as NXT champion Oba Femi defends against TNA's X Division champion Leon Slater. This is Slater's biggest test to date. And Slater do what he needed to do to win the NXT title and shock the world. We'll see. As well as next week. Speaking of shocking the world, what happened nearly almost 3 weeks ago when Tia Hill won the North American Women's title from Blake Monroe, shocking the world in a mismatch, but did so. Next week be the rematch. Can Blake Monroe get her championship back? That's the question everybody wants to know as well. Well, there's this right here. JC Jane taking on Kendall Gray, the Evolve Women's Champion. JC Jane puts her championship on the line. So JC Jane getting herself together to see if she can do what she need to do. And next week, another grudge match as Tatum Paxton versus Izzy Dame next week. These women will go at it next week. So we'll see how that's going to be as well. And also, too, we'll see if Tavion Heights can win the Speed Championship. That's going to be the question. He was on a roll against Jasper Troy. We'll see how that's going to go. Well, we're going to end it right here with Ricky Saints defeating Javon Evans, the male superstar of the year, and defeating him. And we don't know what Javon's future might be, but hey, we'll keep a close eye on it. Thank you for watching this edition of the NXT Ring Report, the final NXT Ring Report 2025. We'll have the final AEW Ring Report as well as the final pro wrestling show of 2025 tomorrow. Thank you all for watching. I've been your host, Kendra Dix, saying so long. We'll see you tomorrow for the AEW Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show.